So what's your next plan? She asked while looking at him. He was taking the button look at her. They both came for dinner. I want to go. Japan, a friend of mine who lives here, went to meet him. Okay, I will go with you. He stopped and looked at her while putting the fork down. He put a fake smile across his face. And no, you will not go with me. I'm going with my parents, so I can't go with them. Also, I don't understand why you never let me meet them. I'm sure that you are not insecure about me because I'm pretty. Then what's the reason I wanted to meet them? As it's soon to be daughter-in-law, he started coughing. Yes, he grabbed the glass and thank you. And the reason I'm not introducing you that I'm not ready. Just tell the truth. You are doing this because of her son, not her, our son. He's also my son. Why do you have a son with her? She's so useless and did nothing. He's on live on your money. Shut up, Sumi. How many times do I have to tell you that don't talk bad about her? It's my responsibility to give her everything because she's parenting and take care of my son. This is the last time you talk bad about her. His wife was rude. Now what? Where are you going? I have to do work. He wore his coat and walked out. Sumi was Janko's friend and was in love with him. She confessed her feelings to him, but he was not sure about his feelings. She wanted him to introduce her to his parents, but he didn't want to be the reason behind why it was he had who was the mother of his son. Janko told her many times that he don't love her now. She was staring at the place angry because she wanted. Sometimes Sumi hated Janko's behavior, found that he didn't love her. He came out of the car and looked at the place where she lived with his son. He had a son because he was happy to see his son. He looked at himself in the screen of his cell phone and smiled, always handsome. He put his cell phone down in his pocket and walked inside the house. He entered the house and his son ran to him. While laughing, he held him in his arms and hugged him. He was so happy. Why don't you come last day? He looked at him and I was busy. Where is your mom? He looked at the house and only the maids were there. She's in the room. Do you want to meet her? No letters last. His guards put the gifts in front of them, and this is all for my son. Jung laughed and grabbed the gifts. You bring a gift for mom? Yeah, I bought a dress for her. He was surprised and started opening the gifts. Jung started looking around the house to see her. He grabbed the frames and photos, which were of her and her son. She was looking so young. She was just 20 at that time. She was smiling and he Jack was staring at his parents. His parents were in so much tension as their family was in so much danger. He was cool and didn't care about the danger. He was the only son of his parents, and so they took care of him so much. For the first days, they were getting so much about their family. Someone wanted. They didn't know that who was behind all of this, but they believed that. Why it is so difficult to catch him? He was shouting on the girl by talking to the cops. If they harm my son or my family, then see what I will be do. The cop was trying to calm his father down while his mother was sitting on the couch while holding her. Adjunct was looking at them without caring about anything. He wasn't afraid of that when the man wanted to. They were just getting letters and voicemails. The man wanted to see their name. His parents were so worried about what they didn't want to see. His parents wanted to keep their name alive. They have been popular since 19th. It was their third generation who was ruling the business. Well, but that mysterious man came. Janko put the plate down on the table and looked at his mother. Mom, stop worrying. Don't take the tension. His mother looked at him and Janko, this is getting worse. We are getting and for 2 years and now the men are only here. So you are worried about this. You didn't want to lose your hair. So let me have an ear. Don't look at me like that. I see in the movies they always do this to keep their name alive. I was just kidding. He said back and she liked his area. Well, he was 25, so it was so bad to do this. This is just another hair, but secretly she looked at his father and Changu, you can go. Okay, he walked out while eating the apple. He was very careless man and didn't care about anything. Ed and his parents were sitting on the bed. She was sharing her thoughts with him. This is a good idea. He's ready for marriage, yeah, but this is too early. He will get married secretly. We will not reveal it. His father noted. This is good, she said. They started searching for a girl for him who didn't have any powerful background and family. And finally they found a girl in their mansion. They fired guards. No, that guard was standing in front of them and was talking about. And she also has alexithymia. She doesn't feel any emotions and cannot remember anything. She's been suffering from this since childhood. His parents were so confused and surprised and was also feeling bad. Do we want to see? Do you still want her as your daughter-in-law? Yes, now you can go, Mr. Meany. He smiled and walked on. She looked at her husband. She will forget him one day. Don't worry, and don't you say that you only want her here. But what about her feelings? She doesn't have any emotions, so she will not remember him or her son. And if Janko falls in love with her, then he will do everything for her. Okay? His mother noted. Janko entered here and saw a girl lying in the flowers. She was holding a painting and looking at me because it was beautiful. Sunshine was going through her painting. Her brown golden hairs were shattered on the ears. She walked towards her and because he was surprised to see a girl in his garden. He turned beside her. Who are you? Softly said, and she looked at me, came here mistakenly, and then I don't find a way of getting us to lay down here. Okay, but now how can you come here? Who told you about this? Nobody knows about here. I don't know. I don't remember. What is your name? My name is. She started thinking. I know my. He was looking at her, thinking that she was joking, that she really didn't have. Yeah, if you don't want to tell, then it's okay. You choose this. He asked, and she nodded. Show me. He grabbed the canvas, and this is beautiful. What is this? This is your garden. He looked around and then to her, petting her. Waiting was so worse. It is good night, sure. They were lying there while the sunshine was falling on them. Wine was shining. I want to go. She got up and he also. I don't know where to go. Come with me. He started walking and she followed him. He came out with her. This is the way, my lady. She nodded and then a maid came and grabbed a boy and a wine while I found you. She looked at Janko and good morning, boss. She smiled and wine looked at him. Good morning. After saying she started drinking her. Let's go. They started walking with while he was standing there looking at them. Idiot, your father works for him and you live in his mansion. Really? We are noted. Now let's go. You need to eat medicine. I walked out and he was staring at them while smiling. He found her funny. Nan entered the room and her mother was waiting for her. She got up and where were you? Your doctor is waiting for you, her mother said. Doctor, what is doctor? I don't know. Let's go. They walked into the other room. She was getting treated well. Her doctor was good. Medicine are welcoming her a lot. After eating, she didn't fully remember anything, but she didn't lose. 1 week later. Young was laying on the bed while using his cell phone last night. So his parents were so worried because they couldn't find that when his father knocked on the door and she sat down while allowing her. She entered was smiling. Mom, what happened? Why are you happy? I found a very pretty girl for you. He won't. You wished. Mom, I was joking. But Janku, don't you say no because it's important for us. Look at her. You will like her. She is really he was up and surprised. Do you know her? Last week, Mills was saying that she is the daughter of Mr. Mills. Yes, she is his daughter now. Tell me, do you want to get married to her? Does she agree? His mother nodded and he smiled, and then I don't find a problem. His mother smiled because she was so happy for her son. A day before Sumi came to meet him, he was looking very happy by looking at himself in the mirror. He loved himself and also was happy about his marriage. Sumi came and boom, he flinched and looked at her. Sumi, are you crazy? She started laughing. They were friends. Why are you happy? I'm getting married. What do you mean, Django? I'm getting married and I'm happy that I'm afraid of. I'm tired of relationships, but nothing. Congratulations. Thank you. She got up and walked out. On the day of the wedding, Van was standing in front of him. He was happy while Van was showing hard. To show emotion, his parents were happy but sad also. There was no one except their close. Mia was so happy for Van. Janko still didn't don't know about her disease. They came into the room. He was holding her in his arms. He was looking at him. He put her down and stood in front of her. He gave her the necklace and then sat down. He gently removed her. His lips began to trace a slow, sensual path of her legs. He felt her shiver down her spine as he made his way up. Pressure through her body as he reached the top. They both lay down on the bed. His body. She stared at him, memorizing the way, left her breathless and wanting more. She was down her spine and then to her. Where is he planted? Her hands went to his back, holding him close as he slowly made his way. Flashback ends. He opened his hand, analyzing memories, but running into minds, he hated everything. He just didn't want to remember anything. He was a very happy person, but turned into a heartless just because of one accident. He wouldn't forget that moment. It was not like she didn't show herself to him. It was him who didn't want to see her again because after seeing her, he would again lose himself. He touched her photo. She looked at him as she knew that she didn't remember. But he was looking at her full of eyes. Where is he? She asked, and Jang-un ran to his feet, smiled and hugged her. Jang-un, I'm going. She looked at him and turned with a happy heart. He sat down in the car while his mind was on her. She was The same as before, the innocence, the beauty, everything was the same. His heartbeat was so vast, it was hard, very hard for me to register that she didn't remember him. He wanted her to remember, but she forgot everything. Django was with her because he couldn't live without her. Sometimes she even forgot him also. Her medicines helped her a lot. After seeing him, she just felt that he was someone to her. Alex he was skull, but still sometimes she didn't feel any emotions. She lost half of her married people got in their 60s, 40s, but she got in a very early age. People lost their life after 10 years after diagnosing with her, but her medicine was so good. He came out of the car and entered the house. Their son was asleep and she was standing there putting flowers in the vase. It was fear, but she always did. She looked at him and stared at him. She felt emotions building up in her. He was breathing. She liked the feelings which she only felt with when he was around. She didn't go out as he rushed towards her in a passionate, all-consuming. She felt a rush of emotions, memories of their past flooding back. Her heart pounding in her chest. She remembered him as the father of her son, and our realization sparked a deep emotional response with her. He swept her up in his arms as the world around them melted away, leaving the two of them lost in the intensity of their emotion. He had missed her so much. It was clear that he couldn't forget her no matter how hard he tried. The passion between them was palpable. He grabbed her leg and leaned in closer. His body, her heart was racing as she couldn't help but feel a thrill of excitement. She was liking these feelings, liking the way he made her feel. But just as suddenly, as he started, everything stopped. He pulled back, his eyes fell, looking onwards for a moment. They just stared at each other. He looked at her, feelings of forgetting everything. The next day was hurting him, but at the same time, he forgot everything. And then he walked into her. They stepped into the room while the maids told her many times that he was her husband and the father of her son. He was the only man who was allowed to enter the house. Ivan was scared to go out. She didn't know any place, so she stayed at home every time. When he had before her son told her that he was her husband and his father. That's why she remembered him. Well, she remembered him. The next morning, he was sitting in his office and his eyes were closed. He was thinking about last night. His one leg was moving and his mind was full of her. He felt heavy while thinking about that moment, but one thing was hurting her. She would forget everything suddenly. Yes, take me with you. I really want to go with you. He wanted to pull all his anger on her, but he controlled himself. So we tried to understand. She nodded and smiled. Would you miss me? He nodded and Carol giving a fake smile. I missed you too. So we started laughing. While his mind was on that moment, he could feel everything. He turned 30 and mine was 35. He loved her so much, but the distance made him so rude and changed him so much. He couldn't forget that time and the things that was he was living away from her because he didn't want to harm her. He helped her parents and gave them everything. His parents lived out of the country. He was there just because of why now he was ignoring her, pretending to listen her. She followed him and go goodbye, goodbye. He entered the waiting room while she walked towards her other friends. One was sitting here while looking at the house. She just took her medicine, which was helping her to again and remind her of a few things. Her son was opening the gifts which were from him. He looked at her and Mom bought this just for you. Man grabbed it and stared at it. It was a beautiful letter. He started playing with his toys and she was staring at the dress. Now she remembered him. Now she was standing in front of him, was smiling. She was so happy that she caught her since she thrilled and giggling. Suddenly she stopped and looked at his photo who was hanged on the wall of water along her son. She walked towards him and softly touched his foot. She was tried hard to remember his name but felt because when she put some pressure on her head, such that started spinning. 1 week later, one was standing here while waiting for the guards. His son was sitting on the couch that she would go out after so many years. She was afraid and nervous, but it was the order of him. She was wearing tattoos, her hands were shivering and cold. That guard came and come with me. She looked outside the window and was surprised after seeing so many things. Her heartbeat was so fast that she saw many people after years. Her son was hanging her so that it was a feeling, so was she feeling a bit relaxed. She was staring at the world weirdly as she never saw those things in her lives. After a few minutes, he stopped the car in front of the mansion and the driver opened the door for her. They both walked inside the mansion. Now her son was outside and she was in his office. She was checking the mansion as it was her old habit. She was checking the file, but suddenly the door opened. She flinched and looked at him. He entered and stared at her. The file who was in her hands fell down and she sat down to grab it up. As he entered the room, she couldn't have but noticed him. There was something about him that caught her attention, and she felt a flutter in her chest. It was a strange and familiar feeling. that she couldn't quite explain despite not remembering it properly. She wrapped her arms around his neck, dipping the. He lifted her up and sat her down on the table, his hands roving. She felt a rush of excitement, but also a sense of. She tried to stop him, to push him, but there was feeling inside her that wouldn't let her. It was as if her body had a mind of its own. It was giving its touch. She felt like she was losing control, like she was falling into a deep dark. But she couldn't stop herself. They were busy, but she didn't know that someone was watching them. With within and broken eyes, Sumi was standing in the other room while looking at them. A small window was attached to his room, and a face of Sumi was standing and watching them, waiting for him in the room. But then he came to his own, and then she was watching them. His eyes filled with tears as she turned to leave. While was sitting on the chair watching the fells at that time, she remembered him as her husband. He was on and she was waiting for him. Sumi came into the room and stood in front of her and looked up and saw Sumi blush with her eyes. You will remain her. She is the best word to describe you. While she walked towards her, leave me, get out of here and don't show your ugly face again. You act like you don't remember anything, but you are always ready to. Mana that visit with tears as Sumi pushed her on the bed, just get out and dive and started crying, getting up at the door and saw them. You said that you had no connection with her. He looked at her. It's none of your business. It's none of my business. I meant nothing for you. You don't know her reality. She had to forget everything. Then suddenly she remembered just for the. She's just a reckless woman. He was getting angry. And who are you to say this? You are reckless who wanted to be someone, knowing that he's married. You are who wanted to destroy my marriage life just for your own pleasure. Don't do this which you are to what you are doing. She was shouting at her. Yes, now get out. She nodded while smiling like a psycho. He was looking at her. Doubt was became true. She got up and walked out. He looked at her and cupped her face. Are you okay? She nodded and he hugged her. Now they both were lying on the bed while hugging each other. She looked at him. Why don't you tell me that you are my husband? Why do you always behave like a mysterious man? He looked at her. She forgot that moment. She forgot everything. But I don't. She wanted to leave me and didn't want to see my face. I always took my medicine, but still I don't remember anything. I don't remember how many times you came to miss me. I forgot that you are my husband. I'm tired of this every time. Anyways, every place my mates told me about you. He was looking at her with a heavy heart. He couldn't bear the pain of one day she would forget everything. I'm here to tell you everything. She smiled and closed her eyes. He was staring at her. This was the very reason he was away from her. Why didn't he live with her? The flashbacks was coming into his mind as the time was passing. The next he was sleeping, but suddenly his cell phone started ringing. He picked up the call and it was his father. Hello. Is that in a sleep? You again about her 2 hours? He opened his eyes after hearing father's voice. Yes, she wanted to leave it. You know that you don't remember what she wanted. And it's very dangerous for her. I did everything for her. Well, it's up to you now. Okay, Dad. He cut the call and looked up at her. She was sleeping peacefully. He got up and walked into the bathroom after putting pillows around her. After half an hour later. He came out and saw that no one was in the room. When we looked close and she was not there. His heartbeat increased as he ran out. Mom was standing in the room with fear. Her heartbeat was so fast. She was shivering. She was looking around her, but suddenly someone grabbed her hand from behind and whispered in her ear. When I heard that, you went back to him. Why, your voice shattered. So you also forgot me. Let me remind you. We turned her towards him and they were just inches away from each other. But you don't like it, she nodded while her tears were falling. You don't like me. Just leave me. I don't like how you are touching me. He pulled her towards him and started into her eyes. You just act like why, you know, I like to, and you are the best way for me. While on the other end, Janko was standing in tension. He was so worried and his secretary while watching the video. His expression fell as he saw the man who was taking her. It was not a young man, so he's a middle-aged man. He's 1 week later, Jung was still finding her. He was depressed and didn't sleep. He tried hard to find her, but she was nowhere. Now he was sitting on the couch while looking at the recordings for moving her hair, so his guards and security were standing around him, and then suddenly the door bell rang. One of his guards opened the room, and he told him that he would open it by himself. He walked towards him and stated that he was looking like a gift. A day was addressed to his. He pressed it and Jung could hear her voice. It was fine once he removed it cover. Opening your eyes, he said after seeing her.